Alright, it's fourth and final bin of gaming-related miscellany in my closet. And this one's probably going to be the quickest one because it looks like it's a bunch of large items. So first of all, right off the bat, the original NES Advantage. That's right, I actually have the original NES Advantage. It still works perfectly, even though it never really worked that well anyway. A little piece of trivia about regarding the NES Advantage. Wow, it's a two-player controller. You want to know why it's a two-player controller? Because there's two fucking cords coming out of the same one, and you plug them both into your NES at once. So it's really not a two-player controller. You just pass it back and forth amongst the people. Why couldn't you just do that anyway? Why'd you need two cords to do that? That's pretty weird, huh? A little bit of engineering stupidity. What the hell do I have in here? We've got my external DVD burner, which I bought with my previous computer because I needed it, and now I don't need it anymore because my existing computer has a DVD burner already built into it. Look how dusty that thing is. HP. Pretty useless. I'm not even gonna take it out. Oh, look at this. It's my original PS2. And if people were to ask you what's the #1 difference in design between the PS1 and the PS2, the answer should be the PS2 fucking works. That's right, I had this PS2. This is my first. I bought this pretty close to the launch of the system. As you see, it is the older, bulky style system. Even when they had the blue stuff at the beginning, at the front and everything. Before they had the built-in modem, as you can see, I had to buy the modem and add it to the back. This thing never let me down. I never had a fucking problem with the PS2. However, the PS1 was a piece of garbage that constantly would not read your games properly. You had to turn it on its side, you had to turn it upside down, you had to give it a fucking stomach massage, you had to fucking tell it bedtime stories just to try to play a game. I remember when I was playing Resident Evil 1 on my original PS1, I had so many problems trying to beat the game simply because the game stopped fucking loading. I was so pissed. There's nothing worse than playing a game like that, a survival horror game, where you have limited places you can save. You know, it's crucial to be able to do it when you need to do it, and it fucking doesn't work. Now here's, you guys, if this is what I think it is, you guys might like this. It is, alright. This will be a treat. For anyone who used to play arcade games in the arcade, alright, you're going to get to see something that a lot of people have never seen before. What this is... Let me see if I can get a good angle here. Prop it up. This is a CPS2 arcade board for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And what I mean is a lot of people don't know in an arcade machine what exactly goes inside of it. It's essentially a giant cartridge. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, there's a vent on the side, but watch this. Look, there's pins on the side, and these pins plug into the other board. There's two boards, and I forget if this is called the A board or the B board. But there's two boards that plug together, essentially like you're plugging your board into a console. And what you'll see here, this is pretty cool too, there's a credit counter on the side. You can actually tell how many credits have been entered. So this particular board has had 10,666 credits entered inside of it. Pretty cool. And this is how these CPS2 style arcade games used to work. And when I'm talking about that, any of the classic arcade games from Capcom were CPS2. A lot of the side-scrollers, the shooters, all those kind of games that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of them were CPS2 until maybe the late 90s, and then they started changing over to other systems like Naomi and things like that. But basically, this is the game board for Super Turbo. So if someone had the other board, which is the board that you use for Capcom games, and we were to go to the arcade and plug this into the other board would hook into things like the monitor, the controls, and we'd be able to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on an arcade machine right now with this board. That's how cool that is. However, there's a problem, and I don't know if it affects my board or not, and let me explain. The way that these work, these boards, is that they have internal memory, okay? The memory runs off of a battery, and it's a battery similar to, think of the battery inside of your watch, for example. That's the kind of battery that these run off of, and some of them can last nearly forever, but some of them die out. And if my battery has died out in here, this board might not work. So eventually, if I ever do want to try to play this again, which I might, I mean, who knows? I got my own place. you know, I've got space now. I might eventually get a cabinet in here. Who knows? Like a small cabinet. I might want to play Arcade Super Turbo someday, and I might want to get. By the way, I do have the other board, and I have another game too. I have X-Men versus Street Fighter, but my friend has it. He's had it for many years because he actually does have an arcade cabinet. So I basically loaned it to him and said, "Look, dude, I can't play this shit. Go ahead, you borrow it, and you can just have it perpetually until I eventually get my shit together." So I might actually look to do that and build a cool, maybe a head-to-head cabinet. Who knows? That would be pretty awesome, having a head-to-head cabinet where people can play Super Turbo. That'd be dope. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know. It's not in my immediate future, that's for sure. I just moved. I'm poor. But that's pretty cool. For people who've never seen the arcade board, this is a real Super Turbo arcade board that I purchased myself. And by the way, this was used at ECC and other tournaments that I've gone to. I was able to lend it and donate it. So that's why I bought it, even though I didn't own an arcade cabinet. I know a lot of people might say, why would you buy something you can't use? Well, that's why, basically. And no, anyone reading the box, I don't use Avon fucking Rejuvenation products. That was just a box that someone lent to me so that when I was moving, I could move my shit. I hear some asshole's gonna make a dumbass comment like, what facial cream do you use? To which I'm gonna say, fuck you, buddy. What we've got in here is a monitor. This is a Dell monitor. This is my previous monitor. I think it's like 20-inch widescreen. This is what I used to use as my computer monitor, but I don't use it anymore because I since bought two 24-inch HD TVs that are also computer monitors, and I use one of those as my monitor now. And then this is another one of those controller gloves I told you about. Remember I told you I bought a shitload of them? Well, here's another one. As you can see, it's a really ugly color. This is like the new one that you can buy now. They don't call it the same thing anymore. They don't call it the glove. They call it the Armor Controller Glove. And I know why they did this. The other one, as you saw, was kind of clear. It wasn't fully clear, but you could see through it. What happens is, in the summer, when you're playing a lot, there might be like condensation that gets stuck under it, so it looks like nasty. It looks like it's goop or something underneath it. It's really not. It's just a little bit like a sweat, and you can wipe it off, and it looks fine. But this one, as you can see, you can no longer see through it at all. So probably there were a lot of testing and complaints, and the complaints were that it looks nasty if it looks wet underneath. So they made one so that you can't see that. That's the only thing I can think of. So there's another controller glove if I ever need it. That looks like that's it for the bins anyway. I got some more shit over here we might look at, but that's my gaming collection pretty much. I'm trying to think if I have games anywhere. Oh, hold on a sec. One thing I want to show you. You might say you have all these 32X games and you have a Sega CD games. Where is it? It's right here. That's the Genesis, the Sega CD, and the 32X all together, actually assembled together. And I kept it up there because I couldn't really fit it in a bin. I didn't want it to get damaged. So it's up there, and eventually I might bring it down for some gaming. I have before. Last year I actually had a really big cookout at my parents' place, and I was going to do the same thing this year, and we were going to play classic games and all kinds of stuff. But it fell... Oh, delicious. It fell through because I was moving, basically. I didn't have enough money or time or anything to plan it. What the fuck is this? I didn't have enough, you know, resources to really get it going this year, so I canceled it. What is... I'm finding another bag here. Oh, this might just be... Yeah, that's just a power adapter. What's in the GunCon box? That's an interesting question. Now, let's see what's in here. Well, hold on, let's check it out.